friends, Mrs. Hawk here. I am excited to share with you another great story today. I need to give a lot of great thanks to Mrs. Hamlin, our new fourth grade teacher, who introduced me to this book that I'm going to read to you today. This is called Malala's Magic Pencil. Now, I had some background knowledge when Mrs. Hamlin shared this with me because I read an autobiography by this same author called I Am Malala that was really written kind of for adults when she published her first works. And I'm super excited to see that she has written a book for kids. And it says on the back, it's the true story of one girl's wish for a better world. Now, we have to really use our background knowledge when we look at a book like this, because here's what I know about Malala. I know that Malala grew up, I bet she's in her 20s now, but she grew up in a country far away from the United States in the Middle East where girls weren't really allowed to go to school. That school was saved just for boys. And some really terrifying things happened to Malala in her life as she tried to get an education. It was so important to her to get an education into her family. So I always think, gosh, I'm so privileged that I was able to receive a wonderful education, and now I get to educate all of you, or help educate all of you. And she really had to go through all kinds of experiences just to try and have an education. But this is a really neat book that she wrote, and you can see right here it says winner of the Nobel Peace Prize. She won a really amazing award many years ago because of her work sharing her story and her efforts at educating girls all across the world. So this is an exciting book. I'm so glad Mrs. Hamlin shared with us. I can't wait to read it to you. It's a really beautiful story. I'd love for you to think about how it's going to connect to our other books this week. The book, The Last Stop on Market Street, that's on here. I have some of our other read-alouds behind me here. It Takes a Village, The Other Side, and Strictly No Elephants, which you can find all on the same playlist too, and really think about how all of these books connect in their message. What are the authors trying to show us or teach us? So right now I'm going to share Malala's Magic Pencil. This is by Malala Yousafzai and illustrated by, and I just don't even know how to say, so I'm not going to try. I don't know if I said Malala's last name right either. I'm going to do my best. So, here we go. Do you believe in magic? I do. Do you? When I was younger, I used to watch a TV show about a boy who had a magic pencil. If he was hungry, he drew a bowl of curry and it appeared. If he and his friends were in danger, he drew a police officer. The boy was a little hero, always protecting people who needed help. Ooh, that's cool. It's like Harold and the Magic Crayon. How I wanted a magic pencil too. What would you draw if you had a magic pencil for yourself? If I had a magic pencil, I would use it to put a lock on my door so my brothers couldn't bother me. I know we'd all like that for our siblings, right? I would use it to stop time so I could sleep an extra hour every morning. Erase the smell of the trash dump near our house. Ooh, I wonder where she lives, where there's a trash dump. And I would use it to make other people happy. I would draw the most beautiful dresses in the world for my mother, the best buildings in the valley for my father so he could open many schools where children would study for free. Oh, her father must be some sort of teacher. A proper ball so my brothers and I no longer had to play with an old sock stuffed with rubbish. Do you know what rubbish is? Rubbish is another word for trash. So instead of a soccer ball, can you see she's drawing a soccer ball? She uses a sock filled with trash to play with. Every night before I went to bed, I wished for a magic pencil of my own. And every morning I would wake up and check my cupboard, but the magic pencil was never there. One day I was throwing away potato peels and eggshells at the dump. I was wrinkling my nose, swatting away flies, and making sure I didn't step on anything dirty in my nice shoes, when I saw a girl about my age sorting trash into piles. Nearby, boys were fishing for metal scraps using magnets on strings. My friends, can you imagine having to go to a trash dump like that to look for food or metal scraps? I feel very lucky right now that that is not something that I have to do in my life. When my father returned home from work, I told him what I'd seen. It made him sad. "Abba?" I said. "Yes, Johnny," he said back. I always liked when he called me dear one. Oh, I like it when the author tells me when something's in a different language and then explains it for me so then I'm not confused. "Why haven't I seen that girl in my class?" "Because," he said, but he didn't finish right away. "Because, Johnny, in our country, not everyone sends their daughters to school, and some children must work to support their family. Those boys will sell the metal scraps they find. If they went to school, their families would go hungry. School was my favorite place. I do. But I never had considered myself lucky to be able to go." Have you ever thought about how lucky you are to be able to come to school? Maybe you have now that we've had to be home for so long and not been able to come to school. But can you imagine having to work to find metal scraps because you couldn't come to school in order to make sure your family had food? My father had always said, "Malala will live free as a bird." Now I wondered how free I'd truly be. That night I thought about families who didn't have enough food, and the girl who couldn't go to school, and even about how when I was older I would be expected to cook and clean for my brothers, because where I came from, many girls weren't allowed to become what they dreamed of. I knew then that if I had the magic pencil, I would use it to draw a better world, a peaceful world. First, I would erase war and poverty and hunger, and then I would draw girls and boys together as equals. Oh, do you see the girls and boys then are walking to school together? Everyone gets to go to school in her drawing. Over the next few years, instead of wishing for a magic pencil every night, I worked hard in school every day. I wanted to be one of the top students in my class. She has a big drive now, knowing how lucky she is to go to school, that she wants to then be the best that she can be at it. But soon, powerful and dangerous men declared that girls were forbidden from attending school. They walked the streets of our city now, and they carried weapons. Oh my. Can you imagine how scary that would be for her to walk to school past men with weapons saying she couldn't go? One by one, girls stopped coming to school. "Abba, where are all the students?" "They don't feel safe here anymore, Johnny." How could a few men stop all the girls in our valley from going to school? If more people knew what was happening to us, I thought, they might help. What do you think she will do? She has this idea of this peaceful world. She wants people to understand, so maybe they'd help. I wonder what Malala will do. Wishing wasn't enough. Someone needed to speak out. Why not me? Who, that is hard for me to imagine, right? Sometimes I wish for a whole lot of things, but maybe I'm not brave enough, or I don't know how to speak out, or I don't know what to do about it, and she decides to actually do something about it. I wrote about what it felt like to be scared to walk to school and how some of my friends had moved away because of the threat they faced in our city. I wrote about how much I loved school and how proud I was of my uniform. Once I started writing, I didn't stop. I wrote speeches and traveled around my country sharing my story. I even talked to a reporter from a famous international newspaper. People actually wanted to learn about my life. I spoke for all the girls in my valley who couldn't speak for themselves. Wow, look, she's getting interviewed on a camera. My voice became so powerful that the dangerous men tried to silence me, but they failed. Can you see she's looking out? I love thinking of a voice as being powerful. Sometimes we think about our arms or our muscles or things like that are powerful, but she describes her voice as being powerful. And now my voice is louder than ever. Louder because people have joined me, and together we make a chorus, standing up for what we believe. We raise our voices for those in need, help people in danger, even if they are an ocean away, and we think of the world as a family. Did you think about the voices being together as a chorus because they're all together like a choir? Do you still believe in magic? I do. I wrote alone in my room, but people all over the world were reading my story. Millions now know it and helped me spread my message of hope. I had at last found the magic I was looking for in my words and in my work. So here's what's cool. She really wished for something and she wanted to believe in magic. And then it seems to me she found and made the magic herself. I am Malala. I've always wished I could make the world a more peaceful place. And every day I work to make my wish come true. One child, one teacher, one book, and one pen can change the world. I love that. I love the ending of that, to say one child, one teacher, one book, and one pen can change the world. That really leaves me in a way of really thinking about how we can all change the world with even just one of us, and together we could be a chorus. I hope you loved this book as much as I did. I loved the drawings. I love the message. It makes me really think about what I can do to be more like Malala, and I hope you will too. I can't wait to read more with you a little bit later. Have a great day.